Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Om Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatītam gagana sadrisham tattvamasya lakšyam ekam nityam vimalamachalam sarvadhi sakshi bhutam bhavatītam trigunarahitam sadgurum tapnamami. Om. Adoration Sadguru is Brahman, the giver of supreme bliss, embodiment of pure consciousness, one without a second, vast as the ether, infinite, eternal, beyond the three gunas and their modifications, the supreme precept. Yoga Vasistha, Upashama Prakarana, section 91. Adopting the episode of Vitahabhya, Sage Vasishtha gave profound insight into the goal of life. That's attaining mukti, liberation. And we are given all subtle insights relating to jivana mukti and videha mukti. But it should not stay just a theoretical understanding. Therefore, now the focus is on sadhana. How to lead yourself to that stage. And that's in section 91. First, the cause of the world process. Sri Rama asked, O sage, this world is like a dense forest, abounding with high mountains of obstacles. Numerous world systems are the trees. Stars are the flowers on those trees. And gods and demons are birds abiding in them. See the poetry behind it. Flashes of lightnings constitute the buds, and sun and moon are its blossoms. So, directing attention to the whole universe. All that universe becomes a field for your exploration through your mind. But without the mind, all this universe is nowhere. Just like in our modern technical computers, you can get all the world right in the computer by your fingertips. But all that you are getting, how many things are we are getting? Beyond imagination. You want to see peacock dance? Ask the Google. You'll get peacocks from all over the world. Want to study astrology, astronomy, all vast knowledge comes out so quickly. Computer is human brain's product. And it can do so many things. So when you hear about what mind can do, mind is the powerful cosmic energy operating through your brain. And your brain and mindset becomes like a mystic iPad. And Shiri in the iPad can give you any message, quick. And yet, the entire iPad is dependent upon your little brain and nervous system. So poor, so brittle. How can you find absolute stability in that set? Figure that out. Therefore, liberation should not be in that stage. Liberation is not what you catch through the Google or through this iPad. Liberation is where iPad becomes bad. So keeping that in view, first Yoga Vasistha Rama gives all the details of this universe. Sun and moon are blossoms. Clouds are glistening leaves of the trees. What is the cause of this forest of the world process? And how am I to remove it? Sri Rama had no problems, but this is presented for the spiritual aspirants. O sage, individual souls are like creepers caught in this forest of the world process. Birth, death, and various changes are the knots in the stems of these creepers. Maya consists of the roots of these trees, which are firmly embedded in the earth. The earth here refers to Brahman. And delusion is the water that nourishes these creepers. Please tell me, what's the seed of this creeper? And what is the seed of its seed? In other words, Rama is asking what is the ultimate cause of this entire universe. It's not a physical study. The universe that you experience through your conditioned mind. Sage Vasishtha explained, O Rama, the body which is the basis of creating numerous karmas is the seed of this creeper of jivahood. By body is implied body identity. Your deluded vision, I am the body. If you don't have embodiment, the question of bondage and release don't arise. So, as long as you are embodied, all this detail of the universe has its role to play. But if you are free of body identity, when it's a body identity, you must understand in all the three stages, physical body, subtle body, causal body. When you are free of the identity of the body, there is no world process. Chitta, the mind stuff, which is the storehouse of the subtle impressions of good and evil, is the seed of the embodiment. First stage to understand that your repeated embodiments are dependent upon the samskaras in your unconscious, impressions of the chitta. Those impressions have brought you to experience your physical body. This point you always should remember that physical body is never independent of your mind. If you don't have, you become insane. You don't have to become insane. You lose your mind. The body identity moves away immediately. You see, the medical doctors do that. They render you unconscious. They tap your brain and start which limb it is operating. But patient is his nose, his ears. But nose and ears and body, different parts, they're all there in your brain stage. And your brain is operative because of mind. Even the idea there is a brain and how does it look and the details, they are not exact reality. Coming to more from simple point of view, samskaras that are supporting your embodiment and your present embodiment is based upon seeds of the unconscious. Just to remind you, we talk about sanchita karma, accumulated storehouse of samskaras. They are there in your chitta. But all that accumulated is not operative. Only a pinch from the accumulated storehouse, called Prarabdha. And while Prarabdha operates, Prarabdha determines many things. To which family you are born, what type of hereditary personality you should be, how long you should live, and your general plan of pleasure and pain. All is defined by your Prarabdha. But you are not stuck to all this. There is a role of free will, purushartha. To every soul, no soul is stripped of purushartha. And that's in relation to human beings. Animals, they are stripped of their purushartha until their soul comes back to human embodiment. So if animals are doing so many things, they are not creating new karma. And this illusory world process arises out of the chitta, even as waves arise out of the ocean, or pots arise out of clay. The chitta in turn has two seeds, prana spandana and vasana spandana. Spandana is called vibrations. Prana, vibratory prana, and vibratory vasana. Why vibratory? Is just pointing to energy. Both are subtle. Prana is of a lesser type of energy. Vasana is subtler. And they are always in a pulsating movement. That pulsating movement called spandan. Since two causes are there, most important causes, prana and vasana, your sadhana is directed in controlling prana as well as vasana. Some sadhana focuses on controlling vasana and prana is automatically controlled. But from a broad point of view, every aspirant is led to follow a project in which you give your focus to prana, do your pranayama exercises. And many hatha yogas, asanas, etc. are meant to bring about harmony and perfect accord in the functions of the pranas. At the same time, a sadhaka, having given time for yoga exercises, gives time for practice of integral yoga in daily life. Yoga, of course, reminding you again, karma yoga, how you do your duties, with what attitude. Bhakti yoga, how you deal with your feelings, sentiments. Dhyana yoga, how you handle your willpower. And most profoundly, how you handle your intellect. Your intellect can stay just intellectual, but in that level, your intellect is a caterpillar, having the potentiality of becoming intuitional butterfly. Imagery is very poor. But there is what I'm pointing is a big change from caterpillar to a butterfly. So, when the pranas fluctuate, the mind is formed much like a cloud in the ether of consciousness. Cloud aspect is vasana aspect. And when the pranas subside, the mind becomes non-existent. If you deprive mind of the prana, prana is a vehicle for your thoughts, your desires. If you take the vehicle away, your thoughts, desires, they will begin to diminish. They fade away. So therefore, controlling prana has great effect on your mind. But if you stay only with prana and not allow your mind to go into deeper waters of understanding, then your attainment will be shallow. It will not be complete. Mind and prana, they have supplement-complement relationship. And both must therefore be given proper attention. Just like dhyana and dhyana, meditation and wisdom, both are interrelated, like Rama and Lakshmana. However, ultimately, Rama is the highest. Dhyana is the highest. It is the pranic fluctuations which give rise to the chitta. So as long as pranic fluctuations continue, there is formation of vasanas. How does the clouds are formed? There is a whole story behind it, whole science behind it. Formation of the cloud. In the same way, your mind is formed with the function of pranas. And chitta becomes the basis of perceptions of the senses, which constitute the world process. The blueness in the sky, the greenery of the forests, the shimmering waves of the oceans. In fact, all that is seen and experienced in this world are nothing but projections cast on the on the screen of consciousness by the fluctuations of pranas. If the pranic energy is not there, mind will not project. Prana spandana and vasana both go together to form the existence of the chitta. If either of the two is eradicated, the other will automatically melt away. In other words, if you control your vasana, prana will automatically become harmonized. If you harmonize prana, vasana will automatically move towards their purification. Led by ignorance, consciousness becomes externalized. Externalized means just like the screen. When you start projecting in a cinema show, all that you see is externalization of the screen. That type of allegorical simile is there. Externalization means all, for example, you go to sleep in dream. In sleep, you are in your bed. In dream, you have big expansion, externalized. But while you are externalized in your dream, you are actually beyond that externalization. Soul essentially is Brahman. Gripped by ignorance, just like a reflected sun. All the reflected sun experiences is externalization. Sadhana is seeking out what is the source of the externalization. So we use internalization. The term external and internal is allegorical. If you are angry, you are externalized. You become forgiving, calm, you are internalized. You are shouting, you are externalized. Be silent, you are internalized. In various stages, you can use these both words, externalize, internalize. It is Brahman that has become externalized through Maya. The chitta is thus formed. Chitta becomes the basis for bringing about externalization of consciousness. And therefore that chitta, the mind stuff, becomes the basis of endless miseries. But when one becomes detached from objects, the chitta becomes enlightened and liberation is attained. Here it's being talked about, what you are talking about is Asanga. Asanga is your goal, absolute detachment, a revelation. The real I am is the sun. All the externalization of countless reflected suns, and every individual is a little reflected sun. A reflected sun facing a countless experiences. But all the countless illuminations have no reality. So if a reflected sun wants to be the sun, it has to come to the grip that all that it is seeing, the jar, the water, the other jars and that water, and how different reflected suns are in different conditions. In one jar, the reflected sun is a powerful person. In another jar, reflected, it's a miserable person. countless experiences. But forget about all. The reality of a reflected sun is the sun. So, in order to come to that reality, first bring about a little spark of practice of Asanga. Tell yourself, the situations you are facing, they're not going to be always there. Bad smell had floated by the wind. It will not be there. Another type of wind will come and take it away. Even this will pass away. But that's just the beginning stage. Your Asanga must become very powerful movement. And the secret behind Asanga has been presented in the scriptures. Satsangatve nihasangatvam. If you allow yourself to come in company with things that are positive, things that are inspiring, things that are allowing your life to flow with purpose and enabling you to go into integral movement of your personality. That's Satsanga. Satsanga in a broad way. More specialized way is what you are having, Satsanga. Satsangatve, Satsanga, the more Satsanga enters your heart, greater is your vairagya, dispassion towards the world. Satsangatve nihasangatvam. Nihasangatve nischalatattvam. The more detached you are, the more firmness is there in your deeper level of personality. How detached should you be? Allegorical picture is like the sky. So no matter how things are, you are the sky. Yogis practice pranayam, meditation, and the teachings under the guidance of a spiritual preceptor. Many great sages adopt the method of prana nirodh, control of pranas, pointing to there are many types of systems of teaching, and there are people, ashrams that are specialized in practice of Hatha Yoga, Kundalini Yoga, prana-related secrets. While there are other sages who master the mind by adopting the method of controlling the vasanas. And then there are other systems, other ashrams, where practice of meditation and many subtle practices are promoted, focused on purifying the vasanas, your subconscious desires. And there are still others who adopt both methods to destroy the chitta. This advanced state of ashram, where they are not specialized to follow this or that, but all are practiced in the ashram depending upon the different needs of the aspirants. Some aspirant needs more emphasis on their pranayam practice. Some need more emphasis on their conduct. Let me give you a little witty sequence. First, you are facing anisht. The world is filled with anisht. Anisht means evil, terrorizing things that are called anisht. The world is nothing but anisht. cure, be initiated into Ishtadevata. And next point, therefore, Abhisht, Isht, Shisht. Practice Shishtachar. Your conduct should be now righteous conduct. The term is Shisht. And what will it give to you? Abhisht. Abhisht, your goal. Is Shisht. And ultimately you get Abhisht. Vasana in a human being is intensified because of the impressions of the body idea sustained through numerous embodiments. The body idea has been so much hammered in your chitta that that's one of the biggest hurdle. It is so much so whenever you hear sages attain liberation, your mind imagines, now he is sitting with God. You can't get rid of the body idea. He has a body, so he has to keep the body somewhere. The sense of I-ness and mindness. The body idea is your outer level of your illusion. The source of the body idea, I am body, lies in your vasana, ahamta, mamata. The subtle impressions based on ahamta, mamata. Ahamta is I-ness, asserting your ego in an egoistic way, and asserting your mindness. In every mantra, Namah term is used to negate I-ness and mindness, neither me nor mine. And that's the subtle meaning behind namaskar. When two persons meet, they are doing namaskar. They are asserting that I'm adoring God in you, where there is neither me nor mine. Namah car. Put Namah into a car. And that's the way people are greeted. Swept by the strong currents of vasana, whatever the soul imagines, that it becomes. You have the illustration. You go to bed with the idea of just going to deep sleep, but led by your vasana, you go into many experiences you have never expected in your dream. And when you are going into your dream, you have no idea it is false. In the same way, led by vasana, you are brought into embodiment and you are facing the world of many changes based on your karma. So karma is good, things look wonderful before you. You are in Satya Yoga. Karma is bad, then nowhere can you have any rest. Same reality, the absolute reality is the same. While becoming one particular form, in your embodiment, you have lost the memories of your previous embodiment. Not just one previous embodiment, countless embodiments. In each embodiment, you created so many stories about yourself, so many memories. You created tons of literature. I'm joking, but about your life and so many things. And you, with all that literature, maybe still there right in your locality, in your neighborhood. Sometimes your embodiment may not be far away. A person dies in one family, and next embodiment, just one furlong less distance in another house. So all the old things that the same person had done, now he views them totally different. So this is called Maya, I think, magic of the world, Maya. Led by the vasanas, the soul considers the body as the self and considers the object of the world to be real. This is the main point. The objects of the world are not real. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't deal with them. Your whole movement is unreal. Vidya and avidya both are roles of Maya. Maya is all like mirage. But getting deluded by the mirage or getting out of the mirage becomes your field for either to get involved in it, caught by it, or get out of it. In other words, what I am trying to tell you, that all sadhana that you are not doing out of the realm of ignorance. You are doing under the realm of ignorance. If you are out, there is no need for you to do sadhana. When freed of the vasanas, the soul discovers its essential nature as the self and finds the world as an illusion. When vasanas are absent, the mind stops its meditations and the chitta becomes free of the thought waves. Then the state of liberation reveals itself, pointing to the whole project of handling the vasanas, leading the vasanas to dagdha state. Dagdha means burnt up. I can simply give you a quick reminder. Vasanas, when we talk of vasana, it's Ashva vasana, impure vasana is the cause of your bondage. Shubha vasana, pure vasana will lead you to liberation. But Ashubha vasana has 5 states. In children, prasupta, dormant. People who have practiced disciplines as aspirants, they gain tanu avastha. Same vasanas, impure vasanas, but they become thinned out. They become emaciated. Their calories have been taken away. But they are not dead. Sometimes they become more bright. Next type of vasana is the vichinna. Vichinna means one layer of vasana is good, another layer behind it is bad. Just like when you invite people into your house, things are cleaned up, but cleaning person was clever, he kept the dirty things all under the... The result, they all get virus. That's called Vichinda-avastha, overpowered state. And next, the grossest state called Udar. Vasana is so powerful, a person who is very dull-witted, conceited, his conceit he cannot hide it. But if anybody says you are conceited, he doesn't like that. This is going to be smacked by. So these are the impure vasanas in different stages. The ideal stage, by enlightenment, you have made all these ineffective. The vasanas that will bring embodiment, they become as if burnt up. And burnt up vasanas are like popcorns. You have still vasana continues as long as you live. But those vasanas play their role and they don't become seeds to germinate other vasanas. They simply work out through the personality of the sage. That point we have discussed before. That enlightened sages don't just disappear. The karmas flow through their personality, but they are not creating new karmas because their vasanas are burnt up. So with this I'm going to conclude for now. Om Ram 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 Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om. And our prayer for shower of Karunamaya Ras, of divine grace over all who are suffering from terrible predicament by the virus. And most important point, viruses will come and go. Your goal is to attain enlightenment, liberation. If you don't attain liberation, then it is not just this virus, not just this life. You repeat your life again and again and again. You never know what type of viruses are coming in next life. So better to work for that. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukmuva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyama Mritat Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashchid Dukbhag Bhavet Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat.